welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's great to see you again, or if you're new here, I'm Antonia from Abacus Jack. I own and run Abacus Jack Accountancy with my business partner Andy. Our mission is to help small businesses get more financially confident and make accounting simpler. I'm breaking down what accountants actually do, what financials matter to your business, and what accountants do behind the scenes. I create free educational content to help you get more out of your financial data so that you can make better financial decisions. I share new weekly videos on YouTube with content that I feel will help you run your business and educate you on how the finances work. And I also share daily content on Instagram, which ranges from quick tax tips to what we do behind the scenes and what we've been up to. If you're here to learn how to pay no tax, then you're in the wrong place. But for everybody else, today's video is about teaching you how to reconcile a payment when you have issued a sales invoice and someone has paid through PayPal, Stripe, or Go Cardless. So the scenario is you've issued a sales invoice to someone, you've offered different types of payment services. For example, if it was like a bigger service, then maybe someone's elected to pay on PayPal so that they can split it up into monthly payments. And when you get the receipt into your bank, so that money is sent into your bank from one of those services, it doesn't quite match up with the invoice value. So I'm going to explain why that is and what you can do about it to make sure that your sales invoice looks like it's paid and it's not continuously chasing your customer for the £1 or £2 that look like underpaid. I'm going to show you how this works on FreeAgent, and if we need to do this on Xero as well, then I'll do a further video on that. If you haven't watched my video on FreeAgent already, which describes the full system in under 30 minutes, then I'll put a link up so you can watch that as well. And if you have any questions, just let me know in the comments section and I'll get back to you, or you can reach out to me directly and I'll help you. I'd really appreciate it if this video helps you, if you could give me a thumbs up or subscribe to our channel for further educational content. So here we are back in the FreeAgent demo account. So today we're going to be looking at paying a sales invoice that's come through on a payment service like Go Cardless, and making sure that it reconciles fully and that the invoice doesn't sit as unpaid because it hasn't quite matched up. So in the invoicing section, I've created some invoices here for some different values, and the receipts would have come into the bank accounts. So if you have a PayPal account, then it will show, let's see if I can make this a little bit better there. You can see you have a PayPal account down the bottom here. So at the minute we have a business current account. You should have your savings account for skimming for tax. If we have any loans or cash accounts, then they sit down here. But PayPal is the only payment service where it'll have its own specific account, and that's because if you go to add a new account, you can actually connect it as a specific PayPal account, and then it will pull all the data in for you automatically, and it will actually split the transactions out for you automatically without you having to do anything, which saves you a bit more time. Let's have a look at the current account when one of these transactions comes in and what it looks like. So you can see here we've had some receipts in from Stripe and Go Cardless, and the amounts are kind of all over the place. They don't match any of the invoices that we've issued, and you kind of think, well, why is that? And it's because all of these payment providers charge a fee. So when they send you the payment, we need to account for the receipt of the sale for the value that you issued, plus the expense that you've suffered because the payment provider has charged you a banking fee. Let's run through an example of what happens if you just try and reconcile this without doing the extra step that you need to for these kinds of receipts. We were expecting £200, but we only got £196.80. We explain that. We think that the invoice has been paid and it's done, but it's not. So if we click view invoice, we can see that £320 is still due. And if we go into our debtors, me just look for the contact that we had here. It's now going to sit in this debt as unpaid for the end of time because it's never going to be paid anymore. So we need to deal with this amount here. If you've got any automated settings set up as well, it's important that we catch this, because what you don't want to do is be spamming this person who thinks that they've paid £200 on Stripe and we're saying you owe us £3.20 when they don't. So to deal with that, let's go back to the banking screen. We have the transaction here, and I'm going to remove the explanation. So I have to click more options and remove the explanation, and that takes it back to how it was. So we click on it again, and what we need to do is we need to select more options, and we need to change the value to the full £200 that we were expecting. So we've got an idea, and we could log into our Stripe account to see who was paid this amount so that we know that we're matching it to the right invoice. So we know that this should be £200. And then from here we can select the invoice. And we create the new explanation. Now what FreeAgent has done automatically has created another transaction that we need to explain. And it's pulled out the £3.20, which is the difference between the sales invoice and the amount that was received. And what FreeAgent is asking is, how do we explain this difference? What is it? Now we know that it's a deduction from Stripe for the Stripe fee. So all we have to do is select this as a payment, change it to a bank charge, and then that's it done in terms of reconciling that invoice. So if we review the invoice again, it's received full payment, even though Stripe didn't send us the full payment, and that means that we're not going to chase it for late debt through any automated reminders, and it's not going to be on our age debtors report. If we go back to the bank account again, the same thing happens with the Go Cardless transactions. So we'll just run through another transaction. So we think this is £78 based on the invoice that we issued and the amount that we're expecting. And again, you have a Go Cardless login that you can go into and check your dashboard and see who specifically paid you. But we click more options. We change this to 78. Find the invoice there. Create the new explanation. Again, it's split out the fee. We change that to a bank fee. Next, let's go and see what would happen in the PayPal account. So you have to switch bank account because it won't come into the current account. You'll get a PayPal other money in, and actually what you'll see on a live PayPal bank feed is you'll already see it split, but I'll show you how we have to deal with it now to get it reconciled. But you can effectively in PayPal select this as the invoice receipt, and it'll probably match it for you as well, and then you do the bank fee as well. For now we'll click more options, same as the other one. We'll change it up to the money that we're expecting. Create the new explanation. And then again you have the PayPal fee and the sales invoice. Normally, if you're in a PayPal bank account, you'll have a number of transactions that look like a money in, a money out, a money in, a money out, a money in, a money out. So every time you come in to reconcile your PayPal transactions, you can pretty much go through and be like bank charge, bank charge, bank charge, bank charge, and then explain them all at the same time. And then it's just making sure that the invoice receipts are matched to the right invoices. The other thing that might happen is if you get a payment from a supplier who has multiple invoices with you, it'll come through as a lump sum and you need to split them out into individual invoices. If we search for one of those and we have a lump sum payment here, then you need to separate the payment out into multiple invoices, and I'll show you how to do that here. And in FreeAgent, you can pretty much do it one by one until the amount's used up. It helps if the person who's paid you in bulk sends you like a remittance which describes which invoices they're paying with the amount. Otherwise, sometimes it can get a little bit out of sync and a little bit tricky. So if you can manage that with your customer, then that would be really helpful. Okay, so we select one here, and then FreeAgent creates another line which hasn't been reconciled, so then we still need to reconcile £393. We know that this one's been paid, so then it splits out the final amount which is left, which is 74. We select that, and then that full amount has been reconciled by applying it to 3 invoices which were outstanding. So then you don't need to do anything else with that. Finally, if you get a simple one and you just have somebody who gets an invoice, makes bank payment one-to-one, puts a nice reference number in the description, then FreeAgent will actually probably do most of the work for you, and it'll come up orange and you just have to double check it and press approve. Or if the amounts match, like this one, you can just select invoice receipt. FreeAgent does a guess. If that's the right one, press explain and you're done. So now you can see how simple it is using FreeAgent to reconcile payments that you receive for your sales invoices from multiple payment people, including bank transfers, Stripe payments, PayPal payments, and Go Cardless. Because this is made so easy, it means that you're more likely to do it regularly, and then that keeps your sales invoices really organized and keeps track of people who've paid the invoices and helps you understand who hasn't paid and accounts for your bank charges properly, meaning that everything is nice and organized and nice and simple. Let me know in the comments if you found this helpful or if you need to understand anything else around FreeAgent, or if you have any further questions around sales invoice processing. I really appreciate your time for joining me today. Please subscribe for further videos, and I hope to see you next time.